Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Sarah from The Biggers the Better. Today's video is going to be on Honest Beauty, and this is going to be basically a really comprehensive, big picture kind of review and hits and misses on their makeup products. So I don't have any skincare in here or hair care, it's just makeup. But it's kind of one of those lines that sort of came out of nowhere in that, I mean, Honest Company had been around for a while, but the Honest Beauty, it was like one day I hadn't heard anything about it and the next day everyone was talking about it. And yet I couldn't find a comprehensive review of the whole line. It was really just like, oh, here's someone talking about one product. Here's someone talking about one product. So I've used a lot of the products, so I kind of want to share it with you. Before we get started, if you like this video or if you get to the end of this video and you think, I liked that, then do give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me. But getting back to the video itself, let's just jump in. I am going to start with the hits, okay? So the things that I really, really like, and go from there. So the first thing that I really, really like from Honest Beauty are their eyeshadow trios. This is in Truly Effortless Sand, and it's my favorite combination just because it's neutral and easy. So what is awesome about these, you get the trio, which is kind of hard to come by in natural and organic. You usually just get single shade eyeshadows and they're usually loose. So these are convenient. They are so soft and blendable. It is stupid. Like, you would never think that those were green based on the way that people perceive green cosmetics. Like, they look like your run-of-the-mill high-end eyeshadows, and they're so buttery and blendable and pigmented. So I love the trio layout. I love the pigmentation. This one is my favorite for like daily wear, but I will show you some other shades that I have. This one is called Forest Green. Unsurprisingly, I don't get a ton of use out of this color combination. They're very pretty shades. What I dislike about this trio is that it doesn't have a matte, and I'm very rarely going to use all green satin or shimmer finishes on my eyes. So again, the shadows are awesome, just not a huge fan of the shades. Then this trio is called Ocean Blue. Same thing as Forest Green. They're all sort of shimmery satin finish, and I'm just not going to use them on my eyes, but at least like the whole palette. But again, like, super beautiful, okay? I mean, they're really stunning eyeshadows. And then last but not least, this is another one of my favorite color combos, is the Heather Mauve. Why do I always say mauve on camera? Like, I overthink it. I know the word is mauve, but the second I start filming, I'm like, mauve. Ugh, so annoying. Okay, so these are, you know, a softer purpley mauve type color palette, and what I like is it does have this matte shade here, which is great for the crease. So this and that neutral browns one are my most used eyeshadow palettes, I would say. Okay, so next thing that I really like is this Sculpted Medium palette. So this is a basically highlighting and contour palette that they put out, and it has a cream highlight and two different shades in darkness and an undertone. So you've got sort of a darker, maybe more intense contour, and then you've got more of like a bronzy or lighter contour. What I love about this is the two shades make it really easy for me, being fair, to have the kind of contour I want. So on just like going out in the daily, I can use the bronzer as a bronzer or as a contour, or I can go in with the darker shade and use it as like a very intense contour. And it would work for medium skin tones, which is nice. The cream highlight is not ridiculously pigmented. Like, it gives you a nice little sheen. You can see that. It's not going to be like you can see me from outer space type highlight. However, if you are looking for a more subtle highlight that's just a pretty glow, then this is really nice, and it's what I'm wearing today. The other way to use it is to layer a powder highlight over, and then you will get that bam type highlight. So I really like this. Coming across cream highlight and contour products, highlight and contour products in general, when you're green, vegan, cruelty-free, whatever, it's kind of challenging. So I enjoy this a lot. The next thing is the Honest Beauty Truly Kissable Lip Crayon, and this is in Mulberry Kiss. These are amazing. Okay, I love these. They're not a super matte finish, hence the Demi matte. I would say they're like a natural satin finish. There's no shimmer, but they do have some shine and gloss to them. Super pigmented, really creamy. They're just like a lipstick, but in a crayon, and I really, really like the texture and the payoff. Also, it's driving me up the wall right now because I can't find it, but I have an Honest Beauty lip gloss, and I'll put in the shade name when I find it as an annotation, but they are awesome. Now, if you're looking for a super full pigment, almost like a liquid lipstick, but shiny, that's not what these are. They're definitely a very sheer lip gloss with just a punch of color, but they give you that really super slick wet look, which is awesome. So depending on what your goals are with lip gloss, I think you might really like the Honest Beauty one. I think it's a really good lip gloss as far as just a sheer wet looking gloss looks like, you know. The next thing I really like from Honest Beauty is their highlighting powder. A little caveat, again, is that it's not a super ultra pigmented highlighter. It reminds me a little bit of the Laura Mercier highlighting dome. I can't remember what it's called, but it's more of a glow and a sheen compared to like a bright shimmer shine highlight. And so this is really, really beautiful for just day-to-day wear, something a little bit more toned down, and the texture is really nice. So I'm a big fan of this, and they do have it in a slightly darker shade for those of you who are not ghostly like me. Okay, and last but not least for my hits is the Falling For You cheek palette in Smitten. And this is basically 2 cream products and a powder. And so these 2 creams are a blush and a bronzer, and then you have a powder highlighter. This is interesting because they already have that powder highlighter by itself and that cream highlighter in the palette. So I think you could maybe skip on the powder. However, they are very different shades. This is a little bit darker and more gold, and that one's a little bit more champagne ice color. So this is really nice. It's the same cream formula as that bronze and contour palette I showed you, which I really do like. But what I love is the blush color. It is the prettiest berry color, and I'm wearing it today on my cheeks, and for me it just gives me this really awesome pop of bright freshness. And I think that the texture of the cream is blendable but just sticky enough that it's not gonna like wipe off your face. So I'm actually a really big fan of this palette. That plus the highlight and contour palette I use almost daily. So that's it for my loves. Let's talk about the products I'm not that big of a fan of. The first one is the Everything Tinted Moisturizer, and this says SPF 20, so that's great. I do appreciate that. It says it's made with chamomile and calendula, whatever. So the reason I don't like this, there's a couple reasons. One, it's a very sticky tinted moisturizer, and at first I thought, oh, maybe this will have great staying power, but it was really just kind of hard to apply, and I didn't think it was that great in staying power. The second thing I wasn't a big fan of is the shade range. This is their lightest shade in Honestly Alabaster, and it's a little too dark for me, a little too deep and kind of pink and kind of red, which I know it's hard to envision. It just wasn't the right shade for me. So I think if they expanded the shade range and maybe made it a little bit smoother to apply, I could get on board. The next thing I'm not a big fan of, and I hate this because people love this stuff, I'm going to talk about these two at the same time, I think, is the cream foundation in Snow and the Vanishing Vanilla Concealer Duo. So, I just don't like them. So, this foundation for me, and the concealer actually, I can apply them in the morning and they look good from far away. Like if I'm sitting here and if my mirror is where the camera is, I'm doing my makeup, it'll look great. But the foundation, when I get up close on my skin, always looks patchy and thick, and it's just very noticeable. It doesn't blend seamlessly into the skin and look like a second skin. It looks like I'm wearing makeup, which for my day-to-day life, I don't usually try and go for. And now with the concealer will look really good up close and far away for about an hour. And I'll go and I'll walk out the door and I'll be like, oh yeah, I look good, you know, looking in the mirror. And then I'll get back a few hours later and think, what happened? So it's not one of those products I can rely on, or rather I should say the look I get is not the look I end up with. So I'm not a big fan of that quality in a product. Last but not least, I want to talk about the limited edition Falling For You makeup palette. Now, the pros, this is beautiful. I love the packaging. I love the shade curation inside. The problem I have is there are 5 eyeshadows, 2 lip colors, and a blush. The eyeshadows, in my opinion, kind of stink, which is interesting because I love their eyeshadow trios, so I assume they're a slightly different formula. The cheek color is the same formula as far as I can tell to those cream products I already showed you, and I really do like them. The lip colors, I'll just be honest with you, I'm never going to use a lip color out of a palette because then for touch-ups I would have to have the palette with me the rest of the night, which is super inconvenient. But eyeshadow-wise, I just think it's not the same quality as their usual stuff. Like, I'll swatch a couple. Okay, so these are the shimmers, and the shimmer is definitely better than the matte right here, which is so chalky and dry. But I love the shades, so I really just wish that they had made them in the same eyeshadow formula that they're used to and just tweak the shades, because the shades are gorgeous. The concept of this palette is awesome. The packaging is awesome, but the eyeshadow texture and quality really does not hit the mark for me. So that's it, you guys. Those are all the makeup products I've tried from Honest Beauty. Again, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. If you have any questions about these products individually that I can answer, because I know I didn't go into too much depth, I wanted this to be a little bit more high level, then ask them down below and I will definitely get back to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.